So you've been around the Pistons for a very long time. You've seen them ups, you've seen their downs, and you've seen them back up and back down. Just talk about what you've seen in terms of the way Troy Weaver is doing things now with the franchise over the past 3 years. Talk about where they are. Is this a real, legit rebuild? Are we seeing the organization move in the right direction, or compared to some of the other ones in the past? Like, because I believe Troy Weaver's doing a good job.
Oh, he's doing a fine job. He's doing a fine job, but you won't reap the benefits or realize the fruits of it for a while. And you're right. Uh, Actually, Braylon, I was drafted in 1979. I'm a little older than what you even think. But when I came in, we were very young, and a couple of years in, we drafted Isaiah Thomas. We were able to add some more pieces. Unfortunately, I got traded to Seattle for Vinnie Johnson, but Jack McCloskey, who was the general manager at that time, he did an amazing job building that team to championship level, but it took almost 10 years. Now, I'm not saying that this is going to take 10 years, but I'm saying that you get better in increments. When Isaiah came in and Kelly Tripucka, and then they got Benny, and then they brought Lambeer in, and each year they would add a piece or a couple of pieces, and they got better, and they got better, and they got better until they were ready to really compete and then really win. So there was a schedule, and everything sort of went according to that schedule. There was no skipping any rungs on the ladder. They had to take each one step at a time, and they eventually got there. Well, the same patience has to be accorded Troy Weaver. I'm sorry, Troy Weaver and his growing up his basketball team, his accumulation of talent, and the same thing will happen. Hopefully it will happen much sooner than what happened with Jack McCloskey. But the fun part is watching the process, watching the growth, watching the team go through the different phases, and then when they're ready, you'll look back and say, well, it was all worth it, because we know that Jack McCloskey's team eventually won a couple of championships, and then Joe Dumars, when he took over, he did the same thing with his team, in '04, and Troy has a very proven and solid track record as an evaluator of talent and how to put pieces together. So I am optimistic.
My apologies on that, Unc. I did mean drafted in '79. I was thinking about your last year, which is '85. My apologies.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's okay. I almost, I'm happy to be the age I am right now. But if I could go back 5 or 6 years, I probably would. Most of us probably would.
Hey, Greg Kelser joins us, Bally Sports Detroit Pistons analyst. We love him here in the D. Hey, 13 years ago yesterday, Special K. One of the worst trades in Detroit history probably happened. Mr. Big Shot for Allen Iverson. Take us back to that day and what you take out of that trade going forward. What it made the Pistons?
Well, you know what? I remember the day well. I believe we were in Florida. I believe we were in Orlando that played the Magic, and the Pistons had already played 2 games. They were 2-0, and they brought Iverson in. Iverson was I think the thing that probably caused that was the fact that the Pistons had 3 straight years of Game 6 losses in the Eastern Conference Finals. And I think the belief at that time was maybe they had maxed out on the group that had gone to the Eastern Conference Finals all those years in a row and made the finals a couple of years straight and won a championship. And maybe it was time to shake it up a little bit. And Allen Iverson was still looked at as a star in the league and a guy who could get it done. But, a lot of times for people who play like Allen, that reckless abandon, and then you play a lot of years, the decline isn't gradual. Sometimes the decline is abrupt. And I think that particular year and at that particular time, Allen Iverson was 1 foot over the edge, but no one knew it. And then when he came here, and now he's trying to mix with a group of winners, I think his decline really precipitated, and it intensified, and unfortunately Detroit had to reap the negativity of that, while Chauncey Billups went on to Denver and had 3 or 4 more really good seasons. That was a gamble. That was a risk. And if you do it long enough, you're going to make some mistakes. I don't think there's any denying that truly was a mistake. And, maybe the best plan would have been to keep that team together one more year. But that's always a dicey situation when you've got aging stars, aging players. You want to try to get something for them before their value is all gone. But that was just one that did not go well for Detroit.
Talking to Greg Kelser, Henry Ford Trojan. I remember that. My mom always talks about that. That's how she first knows who Greg Kelser is.
You see that?
I knew it. There it is. Detroit Henry Ford. There it is. But, you talked about being in situations in terms of making pieces fit as well as ages. Well, there's a great example of that out in L.A. right now with the Los Angeles Lakers trying to make that piece in Russell Westbrook fit. Not the same Russell Westbrook he was, but still has a lot of talent, has a lot of ability. Talk about that piece working. Like, what do you see if you've watched that? Do you see that it can work? Will LeBron make it work? Or if you've paid attention? Just asking.
Well, if LeBron stays healthy, and Anthony Davis stays healthy, then anything is possible with the Lakers. They could win it all again, especially with the way LeBron is playing right now. But the thing you don't know with LeBron is, how durable will he be? Can he be at this age in a game that's so rough on your body? I would advise them to monitor his minutes and manage his games played this year, because you need him as healthy as you possibly can get him come playoff time. Same thing with Anthony Davis. But if those two guys are anywhere close to 100% healthy and can stay there, they're going to be just fine. Russell Westbrook, you don't need him to be old Russ on this team. You just need him to be a guy that finds a way to fit in. Same thing with Carmelo Anthony. You're asking all these guys. Dwight Howard he's shown that he can do it. You're asking all these guys who were the alpha dogs on their teams for many, many, many years, now to sacrifice a little bit, take a step back, play a different role, all with an eye towards winning and winning a championship. The later you get in your career and that window starts to close, and you've made all the money that you can make, the thing that a lot of guys look to do is solidify their legacies with championship rings. And Westbrook, for all the accolades and all the honors that he's achieved and accumulated in his career, he doesn't have a championship. So I would expect that he would buy in doing anything, any amount of sacrificing that they're asking of him, so that he can put that on his resume as the only missing piece right now.
Hey, Greg, I wanted to ask you about Scottie Pippen. Wrote a new book. It's coming out next week, and in it is some not-so-kind words for Michael Jordan. The relationship looks certainly
unfixable,
damaged, maybe unfixable. Pippen does not like the way he was portrayed in The Last Dance, the 10-part Jordan documentary series that came out during the pandemic. What do you make of all that? What's the reason Pippen would call Jordan out like that?
I think probably the biggest reason is he felt like he was not given the credit that he feels he deserves for the success of that dynasty. And that's not an unusual thing, especially when you've got a guy of Pippen's great ability who, without him, they probably would not have had that same level of success. And then the story comes out, and it chooses to portray Michael as if he almost did it by himself, which we know he didn't. You don't win championships in any team sport by yourself. I'm sure there were probably some things in there that Scottie would have liked to have stayed, undercover or in the locker room or, behind closed doors, if you will. So when you add all of that up, and one thing we are as athletes, we're very prideful. And we all have egos, and we all want to be given our due, especially when we're a part of a team and we play what is, generally regarded as an integral role or part to the success of the whole. you want your just due. And Scottie clearly didn't feel he got his, and that I'm sure that has to be the reason why he was dying to get his story out. The unfortunate thing for Scottie is that it won't play to an audience of whatever mega millions of people that The Last Dance played to.
Yeah.
The great Greg Kelser,
Yes, sir.
national champ.
First
Nice
round
career. Pretty
Friend-
nice career as a Pistons analyst, too. How long is what year is this for you? I feel like it's my whole life here, Greg. Do you know how many years?
I do.
What number is that?
This is my 37th year broadcasting overall,
So it is almost my whole life.
Yeah.
and it's my 35th year with the Pistons.
I
All
love
right.
it. Well, all right.
Nice
Absolutely. My God. Greg Kelser, Valley Sports, Detroit Pistons analyst. One of the best people out there
Thanks,
as
Craig.
well.
35 years with the Pistons, and I'm 38. Go figure.
Hey, and friend of Magic Johnson.
Hey, let me just say this. It's really nice being on your show, Ryan. I've always admired you. You do a fantastic job. You used to come over and visit my camps and say hello to the kids and give us great coverage for what we were doing in the community for many, many years. And of course, Braylon's right. I remember Braylon when his dad, Stan, who's 2 years younger than me, would bring Braylon over to the gym and while we were playing basketball. And the one thing that stood out with Braylon is that he could not sit still. He was a bundle of energy. You knew that this young man was going to be an athlete, a great athlete in some sport. And so when he went on to achieve the success that he had at Michigan and in the NFL, came as no surprise.
That's awesome stuff.
Appreciate that, man. Taking me back right there, man. First my Braves win, man, then my big uncle comes on, man. It's just a touchy day.
It's a good week. It's a good week here at
for him.
Woodward
Good week.
Sports. Greg, thanks so much. We hope to do it again soon.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, anytime, guys. Good luck to you.
You got
appreciate
it.
it. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.